I think that is enough time, so why don't we move into this, shall we? There it is. Haha! My goodness. Today is a great day. It is a Sunday, a wonderful Sunday afternoon, because it is 2 p.m. or 2:06 to be precise for me. But regardless, today is a good day. So it's great to see you guys. We have some stuff to talk about. We have quite a little bit to talk about. So first on the agenda, I like to start it as I do with everything. I did not update my stream tags. Yay! I love when that happens. Oh yeah. Perfect. So now that is updated, back to this. Thank you, Phantom. We're gonna talk about you a little bit later. But as for now, I realize that my screens are in the wrong spot. What is that? I realize that my screens are in the wrong spot. But yeah, so anyway, we have stuff to talk about. So yesterday I didn't stream. We had a little bit of a scheduling thing. That's okay. Sometimes that happens. Nobody's perfect. Nothing can happen with that. But the person who is going to be coming on our show will be our guest next Saturday. I think, no, next Sunday. So we'll get to really, have fun with that and do it. I'm really excited for them. But the big thing is, oh my gosh, every time scares the crap out of me. And for future reference for today, or for the shows rather, thank you, Robe, for that. I really appreciate that. That also reminded me of another thing we're gonna be talking about. But yeah, for the VOD, for these streams, because I have them on separate stream overlays, for the VOD, and I'll probably talk about this for every show, the text-to-speech won't be on, maybe in the future, but for now, just keeping it, it still works. I mean, if you redeem it, I'll hear it, I should be able to hear it, but it won't appear on stream. So that's because I want to make sure the focus is on the guest and the talent and all that. So we're keeping that where that is. So yeah, oh, that's a cute emote. What is that? What is that emote called? I love it. You got some cute emotes, Robe. My goodness, for some reason I just had the name, I just saw Robe and I saw Rob and I'm like, I was playing Smash recently, so I'm just thinking about Rob. But yeah, so that's that. Now Thursday, let's talk about Thursday. Thursday was certainly a day. It was a stream. That was our first yeah, I own a Google. I do own a Google, but you'll never get that out of me. Also because I make sure my Google is doesn't have the microphone on when I stream, because I know better than that. So yeah. I am 4 parallel universes ahead of you, Phantom. So you can't get me with that. I don't care how many Doug emotes you give me. You'll never get these secrets. But yeah, Thursday was our first affiliate stream, which is it's so incredible to think about that. It still gets me, because I'm like, never in a couple years, I never say a million years, because that's a really darn high, but never recently did I think I get affiliate so quickly. But it's nice because I'm at a point where since I hit affiliate that I can. Ayo, thank you for the Dr. Pepper cans, Robe. I appreciate that. Since I'm at a point of affiliate now, I feel like I can ride on that momentum, but also kind of slow down just a little bit, you know, because I know that some people who I've watched in the past, they get to once they hit affiliate, they go full steam ahead and jump in feet first and really, really dive deep into it, which is a great thing, but it also can burn you out very quickly. And I feel like I'm at since I hit affiliate right now, I feel like I can more or less. It won't give you more later. Oh, thanks, Robe. Also, if you're not a part of it already, come join the Discord. Come talk in the Discord. You know, there's so many channels, there's so many good things that is going to be coming in with it. So please check out the Discord and, you know, just interact and talk with it. There's a lot of fun people, a lot of good things. You know, people, whether they're VTubers or, you know, artists. You know, you can get commissions, collabs, and all that, or just find a community that will take you in and give you Dr. Pepper. So, yeah. Back to the affiliate thing. I sort of feel like that I'm at a point where I can slow down and I could just be like, start to enjoy, work in my own pace. Every time, I swear. My goodness. I always get jump scared by that. What, you don't want me to slow down? You want me to keep up the full-on sprint to get my second wind and start going? Is that what you're saying, Phantom? Understandable. So, guys, today's stream is going to be a nice 8-hour stream. I don't care what anybody says. I hope our guest is ready for an 8-hour stream. You know, we'll be talking to them for quite a long time. You know, I guess because Phantom says so. Thank you, Bombastic. Welcome to Bombastic, and welcome with the Dr. Pepper can. Thank you. So, but Thursday's affiliate stream. What? Ah! Okay. Why is it always you, Bombastic? Every time I get like serious or heartfelt, it's not even like the barrage, it's just the singular one that just hits me. It's always just the singular one, no matter what. But yeah, Thursday's affiliate stream was super fun because we got to do a nice 2-hour collab with Phantom, with Marie, with Robe, and we had so much fun. And it was essentially Robe and Phantom that were carrying the stream. You cancel your date to be here? I'm ready for all 8 hours. Good. I'll be looking out, Robe. I'll be looking out. No, but you know, thank you for being here. I thank everyone for being here. Like it means so much to me. So we're gonna keep this momentum. We're gonna keep going, and I'm gonna see what I can do to extend my streams on weekdays. That man skipped my B-day for date night. Oh, that is, yeah. Wait, when is your birthday? Because mine's coming up in January. You made me legitimately almost jump out of my chair. Aw, man, I'm so happy. Oh, I see. Well, happy belated birthday, no matter how far away it is. I'm super happy that everybody, for the most part, gets, you know, 2 times the channel points and then just use it to continuously throw Dr. Pepper at me. You know, that's what I live for. That's the dream. Death by Dr. Pepper. So, but yeah, finishing the Thursday talk. It was such a good stream, so much fun, so much tension, so much sexual tension. I'm looking at you, Phantom. There's a lot of fun, a lot of improv. Most importantly, we finished the Halloween thing. I mean, I jumped in there at the very last minute and kind of reaped the rewards that those 3 had worked for the past couple hours. So, but yeah, since we're an affiliate now, I am going to try my best to actually go back to the, I want to try and go back to the time I was before, like how long I was streaming before, during when I was just starting out, like in the beginning of September, where I was streaming for probably 3 to 4 hours, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday. Because I feel like I can manage that a little better now. Because one of those things where I was able to hit, get used to it, hit my stride, and really feel where I needed to be with all that, in how to manage my time and just how to manage my mental health with that. Because, at the end of the day, if you're not mentally up for streaming, it's just not going to be a good stream. But sometimes, even if you're like that, you have good people like such as everyone here, it ends up being well worth it for me, at least. So that's how Thursday went. But we got a lot of good stuff. The next thing is that our wonderful Phantom Fame that we see here, that loves encouragement and violence, is that he right on cue. I didn't count, but it sure as heck better be 23 cans. No, that's not 23 cans. That is 25 cans. Because, so, actually 23 would have been better. That would have been funnier. But I guess I'm stupid. Yeah, 23 flavors. That's exactly. You know what's funny is I saw that on screen, and I moved my head like this, thinking I could dodge it. Thinking I could dodge that. But alas, I can't. So yeah. But anywho, our wonderful Phantom Fame here recently hit affiliate. So he has been working super hard at not only building his community, building his stream presence, but also especially in his Discord. So I highly encourage everyone here to go and join his Discord, because he, along with some of his buddies, have put a lot of hard work into it. It looks really good, if I do say so myself. So, and after doing my Discord, like all of my Discord myself for the most part, silly bat, you're trapped with us. Please, no, Rogue, don't throw it. Put down the can. Put down the can. Okay, thank you. The Discord also includes Milky lore. It never gets any easier. It's a jump scare every time. It is a jump scare every time. Okay. Okay. Are we done? Did we get that out of our system? Did we get that out of our system? There it is. There it is. Cool. Thank you, Bombastic. You are a real one. So, but yeah. Like I said, Phantom has been working hard. Please check out his Discord. Please check out his streams. Or don't. You don't have to. That's completely fine. Throw another one, and I'll go back on my answer. That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So yeah, I think this is a very long intro. So, but yeah, go check him out, please. Show him some love, show him some support, because super good guy. He's putting on a lot of hard work. Thank you, Bombastic, for all of that. Now, it's high time that we got into the show, because we have a wonderful guest today. I've had so many good guests on, ranging from Phantom, who is that a phantom to someone like Joey, a mime, or Mirade, a giraffe. But something they all have in common that is different with our guest is it's only long because you keep getting interrupted. So fun fact, whenever I get interrupted or someone talks over me, I have a bad habit of stopping when I speak and I start over. So theoretically, if I start talking right now and somebody interrupts me, I will typically restart my sentence, and it can happen perpetually where if I keep getting interrupted, I'll just repeat the same thing over and over again. It's been a habit I'm trying to break. You're not getting that out of me this time, Phantom. But if I get no, wait, dang it, that's not what I meant to do. Anyway, yeah. So, but back to the previous thing. With all of our previous guests, they have been either a 2D tuber or a 3D tuber. Now, I love that. That's wonderful. But our guest is a first. We have our first PNG tuber. So you're saying I can stun lock you an entire stream and would save all my points? Theoretically, yes. Will it happen this stream? I don't know, maybe. But we'll just have to find out. So yeah, our guest is the show's very first PNG tuber, which is super good because honestly, PNG tubers should get more. They should get more attention. You know, more of the spotlight, because a lot of the normal standard of the VTubers that are known are 2D tubers or 3D tubers, so we don't see a lot of love for our PNG tuber friends. So yeah, why don't we get into that? So, and when I talked to them previous, I'm going to say this how they imagined it, because I think it's really funny. Because this introduction is going to be said as though it's a WWE entrance. Because why not? 2D supremacy. Thank you, Robe, for that. Is that a potato, Bombastic? Is that that is a potato? Creep potato. So yeah. Let me get my WWE voice. I gotta drop that a little bit. Like I'm thinking like a Bruce Campbell Spider-Man kind of thing. Thank you, Phantom.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming from your lamps and carrots, the floofiest thing you'll ever see, the Moth King himself has risen. Please welcome Double D.
I heal. Something.
Hello.
Sorry, something popped up on my computer. I was like, what the heck? What was that?
Oh my lord.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us. You know, as I've said previously, you are Fembat to Randy Savage. I guess that's one way to put it. But yeah, as we talked about, you are our very first PNG tuber. How does that feel? How do you feel about that?
Oof. I feel very overwhelmed because I'm like, oh no, I'm representing PNG tubers today. Why?
Well,
I am the least person.
Well,
the least person.
Hopefully this isn't too much of a big responsibility or anything like that, because it's a super fun thing to do, and especially with all of the people who you see online that are really big. You know, I just feel like it's really good that we see all aspects of, well, this occupation or this hobby. So, you know, thank you for coming on, and thank you for being a part of the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here, to be honest with you. This is my first, I guess you could say, quote unquote, talk show that I've ever been on. So thank you for allowing me to be here today.
Of course. Well, and to be fair, you know, there's a lot of, like, in terms of talk shows, a lot of people don't really get they either don't get the opportunity, or they do get the opportunity, but even then, most talk shows can actually be boiled down to just a however long podcast. Don't be nervous, everyone. Yeah, thank you, Bombastic. Don't be nervous. Everyone here is weird. Everyone here, honestly, just we all have our own unique things, have our own unique personalities, our ways of doing things, jokes. So in all honesty, there's nothing to fear here. I mean, I'll probably embarrass myself much worse than you, but I do that every stream. So
It's okay. We're hand in hand with that one.
yes, we are. Well, first and foremost, we're gonna ask the question that I ask everybody, because that is the purpose of this show. So, who are you, and what is your story?
All right. I am Double D. I am a bunny moth VTuber, probably the only bunny moth I know. There are plenty of moths, but never the mixture between the two. I like things that are fluffy and cute. So I chose the Venezuelan moth, one of the new species that were found actually. It's super duper fluffy. It comes in different colors, from yellow to white, black, all types of colors. And I thought it'd be cute to mix it with a rabbit who is also, fluffy, has a little bunny tail and everything. So that's how we ended up with this. I also just recently started making a fan name for my followers called Willows, short for Will-O-Wisp, because
There you
my
go.
character, my character lives in the fantasy forest, which means there are a bunch of different odd, kooky creatures such as myself.
Hey, that sounds super fun. I mean, because it's interesting you say that, just a bunch of kooky creatures and stuff like that. Yes, Nina, fluffy moth. Spoopy supremacy. I have something I'll talk about with the word spoopy, because that brought something that came to mind for me. But it's interesting that you say that about a big garden like that. Mirade, our second guest who was on the show, she was talking about how one of her dreams was to one day open her own zoo and have everybody be a part of that zoo that has just all these special creatures. So it kind of, that's what it makes me think of, like, very similarly.
Yeah, my job is to basically guide people who are, I guess you could say, low in life, want something new, something different, to the fantasy forest, where they can pretty much imagine whatever they want to be, do whatever they want to do, and just enjoy themselves.
Pardon me, I was taking a swig of my drink. Something about this show, since I talk so much, it's one of those things I have to constantly keep my throat lubricated. I feel like that is a super interesting role that you've kind of given yourself, because Nina kind of talking about that, a spirit guide. You see a lot of VTubers that are pretty out there for themselves in the way of their occupation, because somebody who's perhaps like a whale or like some sort of aquatic life, and they're just doing their own things, being their own fish and all that. But like the idea of somebody taking upon themselves to help be a guide for others, I mean, that's a pretty heavy undertaking. What do you think?
Yeah, but I feel like I want people to know, I don't want to take this journey by myself alone. I want people to be able to be happy, be able to do the things that they want to do in life. And if you want to be like a big fluffy creature hopping around in the forest, sure, go ahead and be one. If you want to be a moth tinkering in a basement making things like Tinkerbell, sure, go ahead and be one.
Of course. So then, are there like just foundational things that keep you going? That is, because I know, I've done guide work and I've done supervisory work in the past where I've had to help or oversee people. How do you kind of keep that going with the motivation? Because I can tell you from my experience, sometimes that can be really, really hard to manage day by day as you go throughout that.
Yeah, I guess you could say I do it because it's something that I enjoy doing. Um, Basically, like, you know how some people get jobs that, of course they, get jobs that they love to do, but they get tired eventually. But, there's still that one thing that makes it all worth it, that you realize, like, hey, I enjoy doing this. You just, of course, sometimes it's going to get tiring and you're going to be like, why did I put myself through this?
Hmm.
But you're going to meet that one person, that's going to change that perspective for you. And you're going to be like, yeah, I think I'm glad to do the job that I think I'm meant to do. So I feel like that's how I am. With my character, because I basically uh
Hmm.
I this is actually my second character that I've made. The first one I enjoyed, I liked him, but I didn't really vibe as much, because with VTubing, a lot of people don't really, well, I guess some people do, but a lot of people don't really get to choose their character specifically, and like what personality to give it and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be something that, was comfortable for me and I could vibe with, and I didn't mind putting on a persona per se or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I actually made my character myself, which is I'm very
Oh.
proud of.
You should. It is. The thing that I really enjoy is, I'm a sucker for VTuber pets. And I really like the little mascot you have on your head. It's adorable.
Thank you. Their name is Kimiko.
Kimiko. I love it. So, well, it's something that you just talked about piqued my interest, because you're being very open and talking about design of your character, and the lore and models and all that. So, shifting a little bit on that topic, I know some people in the VTuber community hold their character lore and their personality very closely, where they don't deviate from their persona, where once they start streaming, that's who they are. For instance, let's just take any random type of concept. For instance, my name will be the Phantom Fame. No, I'm just kidding. I love you, Phantom. I love you. Don't. No, but if we just take any like random character, or just I am suddenly a capybara VTuber, and when I go live, I deserve that one. I deserve that one. Again, if you haven't, go support Phantom because he recently hit affiliate. Sorry, I have to make up for that. I love you, Phantom. Super cool. But yeah, let's say we take like a capybara VTuber. We'll call them Derek Softshell. I don't know, or Derek Dr. Pepper. There you go. We'll call him Derek Dr. Pepper as a capybara VTuber. Now, let's imagine the person behind it. They created their lore, and the thing about it is, they were a capybara that studied in the Shaolin monk temples of China, and it was trained to be the greatest fighter of all time, when all of a sudden he got hit by a crippling need for a tasty beverage. And that's why his entire persona is Dr. Pepper, and being a capybara. Now, the reason why I'm adding all this is saying all this now is because somebody like that will, when they get on the camera, they get on stream, that's who they are. They don't talk about, I don't have lore, I'm not this outside, I am strictly this character. Whereas, somebody like yourself, for instance, you can openly talk about, oh, this is my second revision, this isn't my first character. How difficult do you think that is to be open and talk about, previous iterations, like, I tried this and it didn't work out, but I'm on this one and I feel very confident, I really enjoy that. What are your thoughts on being open about the behind the scenes stuff, about what goes into like a model and who you are, and then like disassociating yourself from being a model versus a streamer?
Yeah. So with that, I'll say, I think it just depends on the person and also the fans. Like if you start off, I think with like a following, you know, you have people that already know your model, are used to the character and everything that comes with that model, and then you all of a sudden change it. That could lead to a lot of backlash, you know.
Of course.
People might not be happy with the character change and the personality change and that type of thing. So I think it honestly depends. For smaller VTubers, I mean, you still have the issue of getting backlash, but it's not as, I guess, harsh as if you like had a big following, for instance. Or some people I know will just like completely stop one thing and completely make a new account, new rendition, everything, and just move from that past VTuber, because they don't want people to know that that's who they used to be and now this is who they are now.
So then do you think with that, let me take a sip for Nina. Oh, that's good water. Because guess what? I also have a Dr. Pepper next to me. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. But I also have water because I have to balance that out. It's kind of one of those things where if I take a sip of Dr. Pepper, I also try and take a sip of water with it.
Yeah.
That kind of thinking about that a little bit, you know, changing the changing characters and all that, and changing models. You know, are you familiar with the term past life when it comes to VTubers?
Yes, a little bit, I think.
So, for those that don't know, a past life when it comes to VTubing is somebody who streamed under a different model and name, and then graduated, meaning that they stopped with that character, and they suddenly get brought up with they come back as a new character. So, for instance, a recent example of that would be Nina Kosaka of Niji Sanji En. Now, recently, she graduated about 2 months ago. It was like 2 or 3 months ago. Most of the time seen as a rebirth. That's true. Yeah, it's a rebirth is also can be the name of it as well. But Nina Kosaka of Niji Sanji, she graduated. And because she graduated, you know, everybody thought it was going to be the end. However, she recently had a rebirth where she is now a part of V Shoujo. That's what it is. And so, you know, people talk about people see that she's now she's with a different organization, she's with a different title, a different model. So the point that I'm bringing up with this is, do you think it's good to talk about? Is it wise to talk about past lives? Because I know it can be a touchy subject, because it can be akin to like a dead name, so to speak, for some people.
Yeah. For me, I see it as growth, in my opinion. There are always going to be people out there that you cannot please, regardless of if you stayed that character, if you changed your name, if you changed the personality, anything. Some people are not going to be satisfied. So I feel like if you're comfortable with mentioning your previous character and how, you know, it didn't work out, or maybe, you know, you wanted something different and you thought it was just time for a change, I feel like talking about it shows other people, other YouTubers, not YouTubers, other VTubers out there, that it's okay to change personas. It's okay to switch characters, you know, because nobody's perfect. And if you have a character design or a character personality that you can't keep up, or you don't feel comfortable doing, then you're not going to want to stream as much. So I feel like it'll show people more that it's okay to, if you don't like it, you can change it. Sure, you may lose a couple followers, but you being yourself and, you know, streaming more often and being more motivated are going to bring more people in than you probably already had.
You know, I feel like that is a much more mature mindset that I wish a lot more people would have. Now, I'm not saying that you talk about, you know, every facet of your behind the scenes life and stuff with, you know, streaming and all that. But I feel like that would be a very, hey, welcome, Kobe. The stream is going well. Kobe's a good streamer. I've been watching a lot of his CS:GO streams, so very good. So thanks for stopping by. But yeah, so it's a very it can be a very taboo thing to talk about that a lot of VTubers are not comfortable talking about. And so thanks, Kobe. We love you, man. We're happy to have you here. But yeah, it's just like a taboo thing to talk about because they're just like, past lives, we need to keep the lore fresh. We need to make sure that, we keep the sanctity of that character. It's gone. It's never coming back. But I feel like at the same time, I agree with you. Because I feel like it's one of those things where if you don't talk about it, then you ultimately can end up doing a little more harm than good because that air will be stale and it will linger. Pardon me. Oh my goodness. I love Dr. Pepper, but boy howdy, it makes me a little gassy and I gotta burp sometimes.
Are you a root beer type of person or only Dr. Pepper?
I like all types of drinks. I like root beer if I want a nice caffeine-free beverage, but every time I go to In-N-Out, like as much as I love Dr. Pepper, it's my favorite drink. When I go to In-N-Out, I always have to go with their Barks root beer. Every time.
Yeah.
Every time I've been to In-N-Out since I was a kid, every single time, and this is for the past almost 15 years, I have always gotten Barks root beer with my burgers, So, very, I love all soda. I try not to drink as much soda as I need to, or as I should, but, what about you? What kind of root beer you like?
I do normally prefer Barks.
Barks is good stuff.
My favorite, I think, more than anything, it's not really a Dr. Pepper or Coke or Pepsi. I prefer Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew's good. Like for instance, there's a drink I get here in my town that I'm in because there's soda shops in town here, and I get a Dr. Pepper with some mango flavor because normal Mountain Dew with mango flavoring, some pina colada, and then some half and half cream. It's so good. So good.
Interesting combo.
Mixed drinks are good. What about juice? My favorite juice? I like mango juice. Mango juice is my favorite type of juice.
Yeah, that mango juice is good. I prefer pineapple and apple juice.
Apple juice is good. Guess what? You'll suddenly be a Phantom Fame over there will love you now because he drinks so much apple juice.
Oh, yes.
But I get heartburn very easily with acidic things, so sometimes it's a little hard for me to drink apple juice or orange juice. So I like a more neutrally based a drink. What type of milk? We a whole milk. This is a whole milk household.
No, almond milk always.
So anyway, thank you, Dee, for coming on the show. We appreciate. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I like whole milk. I'm a tall guy, so and that comes from me drinking a lot of milk in my life. So, but almond milk is good. I do like almond milk. Need them strong bones. So. But yeah, something you'll find about me. I get off track and lose my train of thought very easily. So
It's okay.
So yeah, back to the lore aspect of it. Something I want to comment on was Robe's comment. He said, "Never regret your lore. It's part of the history of your soul and helps you grow." I think that really sums up, history and lore so well. Now, some people may know of the previous, I think he was an Niji Sanji talent, Zion Lanza. Now, with them, they were let go from Niji Sanji for certain reasons, which I won't talk about here. But the bottom line is, they recently spoke out a little bit about their graduation and how much work they're putting in. Some of the people within Niji Sanji they weren't treating her right. She felt betrayed. But the thing is that she's one of the few people that chose to speak up about her past life and talk about that a little bit. Because if you look at, like I said, most of the people that are in V Shoujo right now are past Nichi Sanji members. And so, like, none of them have brought up their past lives unless they did it incredibly subtly, as to not draw. Oh my goodness, I'm getting hiccups. They don't bring it up, or they bring it up very subtly where they don't draw attention to it, more like a snide remark of, oh yeah, I used to work for a company like that, performed, but they weren't that good, they kind of sucked, so I kind of left, something along those lines, and they're very hush about it. But
Yeah.
based on what you're talking about and just that take you gave, I feel like more people need to hear it, because at the end of the day, it just seems like you're avoiding your past.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that you continuously look at your past and see that, because I'm of the opinion that if you're constantly on the road of life and you're looking in your rearview mirror most of the time, you're not going to be able to see where you're going. You're eventually going to go off course and hit something. But it is good to occasionally glance back in that mirror and see, okay, that's what I missed, but I'm going ahead. So once that's over the horizon, I'm not going to see it again, but I know that was there, because you can't just object permanence your way out of something like that.
Yeah.
So, do you think there's like a way you can incorporate something like that tastefully, or just like, I'm not saying like if you graduate and then you change based on circumstances like that, but like if you do go, like for instance, in your case, you went from a first model and like, I'm not a big fan of this, so I'm gonna change this. So why don't we go with this way? And you did. And is there a way you can like tastefully work that in and just be like, so this is the reason why, this is what's going on?
Yeah. I mean, for people that are, I guess not graduating, like for like indie VTubers, I would say for right now, because I know with graduating and being a part of an agency, sometimes there are certain things you can and cannot talk about depending on specific contracts. So I'll say towards indie VTubers currently, I feel like if you have an audience and you're not feeling the character that you're playing, or maybe you just wish there was something changed about it, or you're just not having a good time streaming during the personality or whatever you're doing, I would say just have a talk to your fans, like be like, hey, so the reason why I changed this specifically was because of this reason, and that's why I feel more comfortable streaming in the new persona, and I hope y'all could accept it and still support me and everything like that. Because I don't think you have to go into like every specific detail about why you didn't want to do that character anymore. Just explain to them, hey, I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't motivated to stream like that anymore, so I needed a little change. But I feel like most true fans, most fans that you support you, they will more than likely support your best interest at heart as well. If you are uncomfortable doing it and you're explaining to them, hey, I'm uncomfortable doing that character, can I switch it up? I'm sure they'll be able to regardless.
Man, that's very good information. That's very good insights to have. Bombastic says, Phantom, you've been here, this. Sometimes the stream likes to get a little robotic. I still need to have that sign. I need to get Apophis to put a sign in the top left corner that says, warning, guests may sound like robots occasionally. But yeah, so Bombastic says, the past is history, the future is a mystery, and today is a gift. That's why they call it the present. Thank you, Master Oogway. That's very true. But the word I think I would use to describe what you talked about is humility. Because you don't... This is what I have to deal with now. I started this road and I walked this road, and now I get to get pelted by Dr. Pepper cans.
Like, why did it go silent every time you get hit by a can?
I get silent because I get hit by it and I sit there and process it. If you get hit with a can in the head, are you gonna sit there and be like, oh, you know, brush it off like nothing happened? You know, ah!
Oh. Oh no.
Why me?
The disrespect.
Remember when Val was I'm still super excited about it. That's why I love it. It's because it happens at the most random times. It's just that now when it happens, I give myself a mini heart attack. So, I love you guys. The audience. That's like, I love it. Anyway. So, the word I would use to describe that feeling that you're like that an attribute for that is humility, because I feel like we don't see as much of that, you know, recently with a lot of talents these days. Now, I'm not saying you divulge so many bits of information to the point where, like, you know, you're borderlining IRL information where you could dox yourself. I'm not talking about that, but to be able to go in front of your community, your fan base, and say, hey guys, I don't feel so sure about this. I don't feel right. You know, mentally, I think there can be some changes. So this is what's going to happen. Please bear with me. You know, I'm sorry if you don't like it, but I want to do this because I feel like this would be better for me. And I feel like it takes a great deal of humility to be able to say that to a fan base that you built up, that you're working so hard to preserve, and to say, hey, I want to make a change. Because it's almost akin to life, where it's exactly like life, where sometimes, you know, for some people, they see who they are on the inside, they see what they are on the outside, and they think, this isn't who I am. I want to be my real, true self. And so I feel like if you're able to come forward and be like, guys, this is who I am now, this is the change I want to make, please bear with me. And if they can't accept that, well, you know where they stand. But I feel like you would gain more support by being who you are. You would gain more support not only from your community and the people you follow, but I feel like you also gain more support from yourself. Because it's as they say, what is it? You are your greatest critic. And because I imagine when you transitioned from your first character, from your first model to your second, I can imagine, based on how you've talked about it, where you started to feel like this is where this is how I feel myself. I think this is where I need to be right now. And this is what I feel like is correct. Now, it could change in the future, but for the time being, for the here and the now, this is what I think I am, and this is where I want to be. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I completely understand you.
Sorry.
My chief fembat of the stream, just your wisdom. I, my children.
Thank you, Ro. So, you know, I don't mean to get so serious and so, like, you know, philosophical when I am the least philosophical person. But it's one of those things that whenever, if somebody is on a journey and they especially talk about how they're discovering their true self and just how they feel, it's, you know, at the end of the day, that's their journey. If anybody tells you that, you know, if you want to change how you look, if you want to change how you act, if, you know, who you are, who you thought you were from the beginning, that's not who you are. If that's ultimately up to the person who started that journey, that's their choice to make, whether they want to change it or not. And I feel like to be in a mindset where, you know, you, D, I think you should keep your first character model, you know, that mindset is incredibly selfish and toxic. So I can guarantee you that the community that you have and the people have seen you, who know you, they see this new model, because when I love this model, like I said, I love Kimiko there. You know, seeing that, I feel as though you gain much more support by being truer to yourself than pandering to those who want to see you in a place where you're not yourself.
Yeah.
Feeling when the piano kicks in.
When the piano kicks.
So yeah.
Oh my lord. Chat is wilding.
Well, I'm so happy for my chat, especially when it comes to this show, because they're some of the most supportive and open-minded people that you can ask for, except for Bombastic, because he throws cans at me at like the most dramatic times.
That's just how he expresses his love.
My point exactly. You're out of cans. Oh my goodness. How dare you grow as a person, T. I mean, at the end of the day, if somebody sees you grow as a person and they don't like you for it, you know what? There's a word for that. You know what that word is?
Hater.
It's what?
Hater.
I was gonna say, I have a word that is much more personal. Jealous. So, you know, it's wonderful to see that you were able to change into this current iteration and you feel comfortable in it. So, you know, you have my respect. Gotta keep the Fembat hydrated. I will.
Oh wait.
Let's
hold up. I
go,
got some water
please.
on the side.
Give me more. You're only making my Dr. Pepper grow. Wait, that's not. No, you're only making. I'm just gonna shut up now. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna.
I can't.
Goodbye, guys.
Nope. You dug that grave on your
Goodbye,
own.
guys. Goodbye, guys.
Oh, where are you going?
Sorry. I had to come back. All right, hold on. Let me sit down in my chair. Great stream, guys. Anyway. So, anywho.
Our regularly scheduled program. Sorry.
Send it in chat, please. I'm eating it right now. So, anywho. We talked a little bit about growth, about changes, about, you know, things that we're becoming masters of our own destiny, so to speak. So what I wanted to shift more towards was something we talked about a little earlier in our, you know, just our small little conversation of, you know, personality. Now, I'm a very exuberant guy. I'm very animated, as you can see. So, and that comes from just me, just my brain, my monkey brain. So, with that, you expressed how, you know, you're a little more shy, you're on the shyer end, you know, and that's completely okay. You talked about how, you know, once you get into a topic or something of your interest, you start to get really animated and you can talk for hours about it. So that leads me to want to ask, should we try to more normalize those kinds of content streamers? And obviously I know the answer is yes, but I want to hear your words on it, because there's so many, you know, we normalize, you know, you need to be animated, you need to be big, you need to, you know, be this and that. But sometimes being more reserved, I feel like, can yield better things. What is your opinion on that? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the best way I can describe it is through my own personal experience being shy. One of the reasons why I started VTubing and streaming in general was because I wanted to kind of break that bubble of my shyness, you know, kind of step out of my comfort zone a little bit, give a little something new a try. And yeah, it's still kind of difficult sometimes because, you know, meeting new people is scary, socializing is scary, but I feel like the more we normalize shy people being in the industry and making them feel comfortable, the more that they're gonna want to open up and they're gonna show us, their true personality. They're gonna shine a lot brighter. How they say, it's the diamond in the rough. but but I do think it should be more normalized, because just because you're shy doesn't mean you're not going to be a good content creator. There are different types of content creators out there.
Of course.
Some people, draw. They don't really talk a whole lot, but they draw. Some people play games and comment every now and then, and people still enjoy it. So for me, it's like you just got to find the right community that is okay with you being shy, not super duper outgoing, 100 energy all the time.
Yeah. So then, what can we do? What do you think we could probably do to try and help a little bit on that? Because I know for me, as exuberant and extrovert as I am, there's some times where, I feel like I don't want to be that big of an animated bombastic guy where, I'm just out there. So, what's something that we could do to help kind of keep that in mind of being like, not every streamer has Fillion, has Iron Mouse levels of just gremlin energy. Bombastic, yeah.
That's actually a good question. Do you mean like what can we do as the VTubers, or what can the community do as the watchers?
Why not both? Why don't we talk about VTubers, and what can we as VTubers do? Like what can I do to kind of be better at that, have more of that acknowledgement?
Me personally, being shy, not really big on, I guess you could say, talking to stream by myself. I'm trying to get more better at it, but I'm not always the great at, commenting and keeping up with the chat. So it's better for me personally to have, friends that support me, that come in every now and then on stream and be like, hey, you got this, keep it up, you're doing good. Or when I'm in a collabs or stuff like that, I don't want to be, let's say, pressured to speak 100% of the time. I just want to chill sometimes. Sometimes I just like to listen to what other people are saying, But I'm trying to think.
Yeah, no,
it's a really.
Go ahead.
To say, it's a really difficult question to answer, so I'm trying to think about it.
Oh no, that's okay. And it's not something that we can necessarily have an answer to in this very moment, but it's certainly something that we as people, as in a community, can kind of ponder a little bit. In like 30 minutes, I'm gonna nail this dork with a soda can. I dare you. So,
the sass.
the lion, the witch, and the audacity of this man. Got it early. But yeah, because it talking about what we can do, we can bring up Mirade the giraffe, where
Are you okay?
I'm getting things thrown at me.
Oh no.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out, Phantom. You
good?
Oh no, I'm fantastic. I get all of the Dr. Pepper cans. So what you guys don't see is underneath this desk, there is a giant puddle of Dr. Pepper cans. So who's the real winner here?
Oh my lord.
So but Phantom says something really good, which is, you are very composed for how difficult some of these questions are. So it's something I appreciate, your willingness to, talk about and be rather open with your experience, because, sometimes it can be a little hard to open up. And be honest with yourself and with other people about it. So, very much I really appreciate the honesty and just the genuine humanity that you are with answering these questions. I find this interview as a whole is just a much more lower energy, but more like a little more serious one.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. What you don't see is me just tinkering with a Rubik's cube currently.
I mean,
like, I'm not gonna lie. For me to be a shy person, I actually do have ADHD, so it's hard for me to sit still. So I tinker a lot. I like to fidget a lot, so it helps me, focus and calm down a lot more.
Of course. Well, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that. Yesterday, I actually got a balisong, which is the traditional name of a butterfly knife, but it's a trainer. It's a metal trainer knife that I got. It's something I've always wanted, and because I always thought they were super cool, and I finally got one yesterday. And so this entire time, like a lot of last night, and actually with the entire time with my stream currently, with this, how I've kind of been, because I always fidget with something when I stream, like during the show, it's something I haven't really admitted, but during the show, guys, it's a little hard for me to sit still. Now I don't know if I have ADHD. I don't think I do. I'm not gonna go and be like self-diagnosing all that. But for me, it's a little harder during the show because I sit here, and I have my hands, unless I'm like doing this with my model, moving me around like that. I have my hands open, so I'm kind of fiddling with things the entire time. But it's interesting that you bring that up about your Rubik's Cube, because this entire time I've just been fiddling around with my butterfly trainer knife. So I completely understand where you're coming from. Maybe that's why I'm a little more focused right now, is because I have something in my hand that I'm messing with that I'm not having to worry too much about.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie though.
Thank you,
people are gonna hate. People are gonna hate me for this when I say this. Oh, I'm sorry. You can continue. Go.
Oh no, I was just saying thank you, Off.
Oh.
Sorry, you were saying.
Yeah, people are gonna probably disagree with me. I take all the stickers off my Rubik's Cube because all the colors stress me out. So it's like just like I'm doing the motions for the Rubik's Cube, but it's like completely black.
Have you ever thought about getting like a Rubik's Cube with the you can take off the color plates?
Yes. This is a little small one that came in like a box of toys or whatever.
Oh,
and it
yeah.
has like little stickers, so I just pull the stickers off.
Well, I know those really well. I remember when I was younger, because I didn't know how to solve a Rubik's Cube like I do now. Isn't it just a cube at that point? Bombastic, it's more than a cube.
Yeah. It still does the twirly twirlies, okay?
It still does the twirly twirlies. But yeah, a butterfly knife with a moth bunny VTuber. Yes. So I'll send a picture of it. In on the Discord. Which, if you're not part of the Discord, join the Discord, guys. Not only that, please talk in the Discord. Have fun. There's so many things you can do. Heck, we have a fanfic up in that Discord, so I highly encourage everyone to check it out and post things. I really want to see the things you have to say, and that goes for you, D. If you have anything that you want to post or bring up, please do so in the Discord. That's a small community that's slowly but surely growing. It's a fidget cube. So
it is now a $50 psychological implement to assist your son Jimmy, who doesn't listen.
I'm still writing the weddings arc. Oh my goodness. I just need to commission Marie to do a picture out for everybody about it. So, but yeah, we were talking about. My train of thought got lost because chat bullies me.
What were we talking about?
Oh, you're talking about how sometimes it can be difficult to, do something like this or, stream because, ADHD.
Oh, yes. I completely forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, for some people, for some streams, it's completely fine to have, high energy and everything like that. But for like streams like this, for example, I prefer to relax, to chill, because I have two types of personalities. Either I'm, energetic off my rocker, or I'm kind of laid back and chill. So I prefer to, I guess you could say have chaos streams. Chaos streams. You never know what you're gonna get the next day, but
Well, just watching something like I was watching your Grounded stream, and I'm like, huh. This goes from moments of nice chill to all of a sudden everything is in chaos. So, I feel like if you don't do that, if you don't have those moments, I mean, maybe you do. Like, for instance, there's a streamer that I follow where she does. I don't want anyone's judgment here, because it was the person who I rated last week. I don't want anyone's judgment here. Again, it was because I have to explain this because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. Okay, it's one of the people that one of my mods. He's also a mod for them. And like I said, currently she is moving to Japan, and I thought it'd be fun to show her support. I don't watch her streams all that often, because it's not my cup of tea, but it's one of those things where I figured I could, help. Because like I said, she's moving to Japan. That's where she's going to work and, all that. And so, just having extra people just to show some support, I felt like that was something I could do. But again, her streams are not my cup of tea. I don't like ASMR. It just, as an audio guy, it freaks me out. So,
yeah.
But
for me, it depends. It depends, cause like
exactly.
How, like, some keyboards have like the click clack click clack. I love those. I absolutely love those. I can fall asleep listening to that. But
thank you, Ro.
Hold on. What did they say, Ro? It's big titty ASMR, mom.
Such subtlety.
But yeah, like it depends on what type of ASMR it is, okay? For me personally, but
Well, so the microphones that most ASMR content streamers actually use, I call it the freakishly large ears on a stick.
oh yeah.
So that's what I call it, but it's actually called the 3DO FS or FS Pro or FS Pro 2, whatever you want to call it. I call it the freakishly large ears on a stick. And from an audio perspective, yes, they're really good. It's a really good stereo microphone. From an listening perspective, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Subtlety is my fashion,
that.
gremlin is my action. But the reason why I brought her up is, someone like her with a lot of her streams, she does just a lot of ASMR streams where she keeps pretty consistent in her delivery and her energy the entire time. Whereas someone like me, where one moment I'm just, having the time of my life of talking to a guest on the show like this, where I'll get pelted with a bunch of cans of soda, and the next thing you know, I'm getting really philosophical. So, there are varying levels of energy. I feel like that. Right on cue. I love all of you and how much you throw those Dr. Peppers. That's why I was so happy to reach affiliate. This was the only reason I cared about for reaching affiliate. I don't care about subs. I don't care about emotes. I just wanted people to throw things at me, and I was.
Can't wait to be pelted with apples. Yes.
You'll get there. You'll get there. So, you know, everybody hits affiliate. So
Actually,
don't.
funny thing you mentioned, I found out how to do it as a PNG tuber too.
Really?
But, yes, it's a little tricky, but it's actually possible.
Explain.
You still have to use like some sort of 2D or 3D software. Like I use VTuber Studios, for example, and then there's a third party what is it? Third party software that you use in order I think called Kabank.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically overlay that with your VTube Studio, and then you overlay that with your PNG, and you're able to have things thrown at you. But if you really want to make it animated, then there's a couple more things you got to do. But for the most part, if you want things thrown at you, you basically just need VTube Studio and Kabank, and that's about it.
Interesting, because I've always wondered that for, you know, people who want to do it, but they don't have, like I said, PNG tubers specifically, you know, they don't have the wherewithal to do it. So that's very informative. Is there anything, speaking of that, is there anything else, you know, that we should talk about right now about VTuber or about PNG tubers that we may not necessarily know? Because I feel like there's so much about PNG tubing that I just don't know.
I mean, the PNG tuber community, I guess you could say it's big but also small.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of hard to gain a fast traction, such as, you know, somebody with a 3D or 2D model.
Of course.
But with PNG tubing, at least for me personally, I started off with that because that was what's best for my computer at the time, and I didn't want to have to use a secondary, I guess you could say, my phone, but I can't use my phone because I don't have an iPhone. So I don't want to have to use like secondary video capture and all that type of stuff. I just wanted to have my PNG react to my voice and everything like that. Of course, you have software such as PNG Tubi or VTube Mini that makes your PNG character animated and all that type of stuff. I will admit though, PNG YouTubers are actually starting to pick up a lot more speed lately. I'm starting to see a whole lot more come out. You know, a lot of people start off with PNG YouTubers before they decide to go into 2D tubers or 3D tubers.
Do you think do you think there are any inherent advantages for being a PNG tuber over somebody who has, you know, for instance, I run a 3D model, and I'm about to talk about my PC specs a little bit just because I think it would help understand how much I have to use. So let me start with this. How many applications do you think I'm running currently? All at once.
Discord, Streamlabs, maybe 3 or 4.
Chat, what do you guys think? Oh wait, you know what I can do? Guess what? Applications do I have open? Let's see. 2, 3. Actually, I'll do this. All right. We're going to do this for 2 minutes. Are you wearing pants?
Not at 6.
Too much time. And I'm building up this anticipation. Look at the poll. So I put out I can do this. I put out a poll.
There's a poll.
Uh-huh. We have somebody who says 4, somebody who says 6. Oh, somebody said. Oh, we have 2 4s. We have a 5. We have a 6. Ooh, we have 2 4s, 2 5s, and a 6. Why are you not announcing this? Like a horse race? I think, like,
Yeah.
do you mean more like an auction? Because I've seen horse races. I've seen plenty of horse races in my life, and I mean, actually, no, that could deliver like the horse race. All right, we see 4 coming in first place now. We see that in 4 and 5 are tied. Maybe it's gonna come down to a nose, come down to a hair. We have 6 coming in third place. Who will break this tie? We have 4, we have 5. Who will win this? We have a couple seconds left in this poll. If you can, vote right now and we'll see who wins. I'll figure out.
The right appropriate amount of energy.
Go 6, I got $50 on you. 4 and 5 tied with the winner. All right. Who voted 6? Was that you, Phantom? Did you vote 6? Guess what? That is the correct answer. I have 6 applications open on my computer right now.
Goodness.
I have Discord, I have Steam, I have my Opera, I have VC Face, I have my Twitch integrated throwing system, and technically, if you want to get real technical, I have Streamlabs and then a Streamlabs projector open, which are 2 different application tabs.
Goodness.
Phantom's a VTuber, doesn't count. Everyone said it would be 6 if he wasn't wearing pants. I'm wearing sweatpants. So, and then if I look at my processing, Opera is taking about 3 gigs, Streamlabs is about 3 gigs, VC Face is about 700 megabytes, you know, and so it's using up a lot of RAM. Now, bringing up this whole thing and talking about it, I have 32 gigs of RAM on my computer. I am running with an RTX 3060. I have a decent CPU and motherboard, and I have 1 terabyte in storage in SSD with 2 terabytes on my hard drive. Now, the point that I'm trying to make about this is it takes so much for me to do this with all of my different applications. Now, it may seem like it's nice and it's, you know, cool to have, but I'll tell you, it's hard managing all of this. I'm running on 3 monitors right now with this PC. Sometimes I feel like it's easier, or not easier, but it's a little more accessible to be able to do something like PNG tubing, where I feel like we put so much stock into you need to have all of this high-end equipment. You need to have so much of the newest and greatest technologies in order to do this. But I feel like we often forget that, guess what? You can simply just use a PNG that reacts when you speak. And I feel like sometimes that is your model and your stream is better than mine in terms of accessibility and just how it's constructed. Do you kind of see where I'm going with this? Like while I'm talking about this?
Yeah.
So, because none of this is meant to be like a flex or anything like that. Again, I'm an audio engineer, so I'm trying to build a PC where I can do both commission work and also school stuff because I'm a university student. But even then, I feel like I don't like some of the best people I've seen. Like, for instance, I've been thoroughly enjoying your content, that what I saw was available online, because like one of them, for instance, was your was it Goose Goose Duck?
Yes.
I watched that. I was watching the VOD for that, and it was super fun, super entertaining, because you weren't trying to showcase or do anything technology wise, you know, set yourself apart. It was your personality and your just who you were as a person that made it so enjoyable. Because I have so many bells and whistles on my streams, but that doesn't equate to good content. You know, like you could have you could have two 4090s in your computer right now. You know, you could have. Pardon me 1 second.
You're fine.
I got a drink because Nina said so.
Stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated. So yeah, it's just really interesting, like, because you kind of get so overwhelmed with how much you think you need.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you, my computer is potato. There's so much stuff in my streams, it ain't even funny. But I try my best, okay?
Of course.
I understand, because Twitch, you know, doesn't hold VODs for very long, especially for people that are non-affiliate and non-partners. I've been trying to recently start uploading to YouTube. Just gotta work out some of the kinks to doing that, because why is YouTube so complicated? I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, even talking about your, like, you saying your PC is a potato. Some of the best streamers I've seen and their content, or just content creators, they run on potatoes, and potatoes, they work. So again, it doubles back to it's a matter of personality as an individual rather than, you know, the hardware you need, you know, because this was of course, pardon me 1 moment. Oh my gosh, it's three like big gulps of water in like the span of 2 minutes. Can Dr. Pepper be a that's it? So that's the thing. Hold on. There's something I must do that I shouldn't be. The thing is that I have to wait, I think 30 or 60 days, either or, for I have to wait before I can give out whatchamacallit, follower emotes, because that's the thing. I wanted to, but Twitch is like, guess what, you have to stream for 60 consecutive days in order to do it, in order to have follower ones. But guess what, Oth looked over for a moment. Guess what, Oth, look at yourself now. Enjoy. So yeah, I don't mind gifting subs, because guess what, I save the money for it. So
Not the cat. Not the
so
cat.
but you know, pardon me, what was I talking about before I gifted that? Dang it.
Computer specs and not having to need, you know, the best PC in the world in order to make content.
Oh yeah. So you don't need the best PC in the world. You don't need all of that. And so it all comes down to quality of content and character. It aligns nearly perfectly. So, you know, we can see how hard you work and how other people work, and that's why it's like, it's so sad when everything's governed by that darn algorithm, you know, because people work so hard and they put so much work into it only to see little results, or they don't see as much growth as they nearly wanted. So
Yeah.
but you know, at the end of the day, that's up to the person to react that way and figure it out. And you know, it seems like you got a very good head on your shoulders with that I feel like a lot of people could really sort of take note from. So
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I already knew. I wasn't expecting to, like, you know, start making content and blow up immediately. No. There's a lot of, I mean, it happens for some people, but for most people, it does not happen like that. But yeah, for me, I basically started streaming for fun and to try something different and to, you know, get out of my comfort and everything. And if people enjoy it, that's great. That's great. But you know, I do it for fun. I don't really do it for, you know, trying to gain fame and live off of, you know, it put what is it? Not subscriber. Crap. What's the word? What's the word? I'm thinking
Follower? Wait.
There's a word for it. Well, you know, the money you make for, like, let's say, like, VTubers and stuff like that.
Oh.
The money they get from.
Like commissions, cuts,
Yes.
revenue.
Yes. Those.
Revenue. That's what.
Yeah, ad revenue. Yeah, that. I never really expected to, like, you know, do big or anything like that. I just kind of want to do for fun, and if people enjoyed watching it, that's great. But I know some people do it because they want to make it big, and they want to, you know, gain momentum and followers and all that type of stuff. And if you want to do that, that's also great. But just know that it is a lot harder. It's very competitive, the VTuber world. Even YouTubers and Twitch streamers, it's very competitive. It's definitely hard to get a start on anything. But I don't want people to go into it thinking like, oh, because I have a potato computer, or oh, because I don't have the best mic or the best equipment, I'm not gonna be able to, you know, do anything or be big like other VTubers or other YouTubers or streamers, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's because I talked about a little bit on, you know, previous episodes where it's all about managing your expectations, because just being a streamer is so hard, not in the aspect of getting everything set up, it's persevering in the face of a blizzard of content, because there are those people who get hit with that blizzard, and you know, they can't see, and they choose to, you know, wipe that snow away so they can see. And then there are those who are just like, you know what, I got hit hard by this, I think I'm just gonna sit down and just let everyone else take care of it, you know. But even then, just persevering doesn't guarantee success. I mean, in my experience with voice acting, for instance, I've been doing I've done voice acting for you know, a couple of years now. But yeah, about a couple of years now, where I can say that there are moments where I didn't feel like I was going anywhere, I wasn't getting anything, I wasn't getting work, I wasn't being able to do anything. But it's one of those things where you kind of have to decide, am I doing this for other people or am I doing this for myself? Because, like, for instance, with VTubing, I'm not putting my full time and effort into this like a full-time job, because to me this is a hobby right now that happens to be, you know, what it is. You know, I'm affiliate now and I could do stuff, I could theoretically make money off of it, but that's not why I do this. I do this because it's fun. It's what I love to do, and it just happened to work out that way. I feel like that's where people go wrong, is they don't manage those expectations. I talked about the story before of the guy who worked a full-time job, spent all of his paycheck to try and be the next big Fortnite streamer, and ultimately didn't work out for him. You know?
Yeah.
And so there will always be those people, but it's just knowing, when is this a job, when is this a hobby? So...
yeah. And I mean, hobbies can become jobs sometimes. Like, if I was to, you know, make it big enough to start making income off of it, sure, it could be a side job. But, you know, currently, I already know that I'm not that big, and if I grow a little bit, that's great. But for me right now, it's a hobby.
Yeah, it's a fun hobby, and I can certainly say that, you know, sometimes we can be a little more blessed than most.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so let's shift a little more outside of this, and let's talk a little more about, you know, the current sphere of VTubing as a whole, because we're kind of doubling back a little bit to talking about, you know, just being a PNG tuber, but something I wanted to talk about was more relating to recently with your streams, and just how you've kind of changed, how you've adjusted into that, because as you talked about before, you have that previous channel. Do you mind talking about your previous streaming experience for a moment?
Well, the thing is, with that, so when I was going into it, I started out as as a 3D VTuber,
Mm-hmm.
if that. But then I was like, well, my computer, like it did run it. I'm not gonna lie, it did run it, but it doesn't run it well, and it probably wouldn't run it good enough in order for me to play games also. But I just kind of wasn't really feeling the character. Like it just didn't really feel like, me, myself. So I decided that I probably wasn't gonna do like some, big persona or something like that. I kind of just wanted to be myself, really. Like I know some people when they make their character, they want to give it a personality. Well, my personality is just me, and what you see is what you get. but yeah, I don't. For my last channel, I guess you could say it has the same name. I didn't change the name of it. So basically, my current channel is actually the channel that I had previously.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the character and everything is different. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And the reason why I bring up, like, talking about your past thing like that, wasn't more that was going to be the focus. It was, what would you say you've learned or, grown from with that experience of, I streamed with this, it didn't work out. And what has been the overlying thing of just that you gained from it?
I feel like what I gained from it is knowing. I'm trying to find the words to put together to make it make sense.
Of course, playing a character can help people come out of their shell, but also is also exhausting. That's what Bombastic says.
Yeah, it is.
And
it can definitely be.
Oth says, not gonna lie, I think it's better you be you instead of having a fake persona to go with your avatar. It's more enjoyable for both the viewer and the streamer, and everyone just has a good time all around.
Yeah.
Now, as you try and think about that, to articulate that a little better, because it is a question to think about. I'll be a little straightforward and talk about my past stuff. Now, I didn't stream beforehand, but as many iterations go, this is not my first model. This is the first model I stream with, but my model went through several revisions because I was making my model myself. Now, it took a little bit of time to figure out this is what I like, this is what I need, and I was originally set to debut, and I've talked about this before, last year, but it was one of those things where I'm like, I didn't feel like this model accurately represented me, and so I pushed off my model my debut a whole year before I actually started streaming. So, and I still have those models, but it didn't feel like me. And Nina says putting on a persona also allows people to be more comfortable and having a small barrier to hide but its true self, but also brings up privacy. That is a big thing that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about, especially within being a VTuber, is just keeping that information pretty private. Like, I'll dip out of the persona of Val here and I'll say, oh yeah, my brother, or my parents, or just in this small town I'm in, I'll talk about that. But there's some people that take that to the extreme where they're, and which is rightly so, that can be it's very important to keep your privacy.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah. I feel like with that, it is definitely hard. I feel like for any person that's gonna be, in the public eye, you would want some sort of privacy. Like, even people that do like, let's say family channels and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are a couple people that don't show, the faces of their children because they want to keep their children's privacy, and that I feel like is a great thing. But it's hard for people, especially VTubers, YouTubers, and things like that, to come out about certain things because people out there are scary. They'll take any little piece of information they can find to piece together you know, things about you and try and spread it online and stuff like that. So it's definitely something to be kind of fearful of when mentioning, I guess you could say, those type of aspects about your life, you know, like the small town I'm in, or my brother, or my mother, you know, family type of situations. But yeah,
Go ahead.
what'd you say? I'm sorry.
Oh no, you go ahead. You were sounding like you were at the end of that sentence there, saying something.
Oh no, I was.
Oh, okay. So, but yeah, so, you know, talking about those aspects, I feel like at a certain point you kind of have to really play some card that, because you're holding your cards very close to your chest, of making sure people don't see where you are and what you've been, where you are and what you have. Robe says, sometimes being the persona is a side you never get to show, serving as an escape from the mask you wear to fit into mundane society. You know, Robe, that's a very interesting and pretty powerful thing to talk about, especially in something like this, because, you know, of course the music stops. Of course the music stops, like, in that moment. I love you too, Phantom. I love your Widow's Peak and Phasmophobia. For context, with the model that Phantom uses when we play Phasmophobia has a funny Widow's Peak. So, but yeah, so it's that persona is you kind of start to get a feeling of, is suddenly this persona I'm perceiving, is this the real, is my real self the persona, or is the character I play on stream the persona? And suddenly it starts to get a very, you know, blurred line of a sense of reality and identity. Bombastic saying, you know, we've seen what happens if people lose their privacy. That goes hand in hand with Nina's comment here saying VTuber is extremely similar to the idol industry. Like, when I was younger, I'm a come on, say it, I followed, and I used to be really into the Japanese idol group AKB48. It's a very good idol group. I think the biggest idol group in Japan. So, but the thing about them is that I really enjoy their music. I thought their music was really good, and that was why I liked them. I didn't really care about their personalities. I was never one of the people that was just like, oh yeah, I'm a Yuko fan, you know. So, but you know, it borderlines into what Nina talked about of parasocial behavior, where VTubing is slowly getting to a point where, you know, it's now becoming virtual idols, which can be really hard to manage, because recently people have either been getting doxxed or they've been, I guess, engaging in behavior that goes against their contracts. And when I say behavior that goes against their contracts, I mean, like, they collab with a company that their company just doesn't like, or, you know, they sing a song that apparently isn't covered in their thing, you know, their contract, you know, they can't play certain games. And so at a certain point, I understand that there is corporate VTubers, you know what you sign up for when you see that all the information for that. But at the same time, it just feels like you're no longer being your true self, and you have to put on the shell that abides by the standards that you kind of set for yourself by the community and by the employer you have.
Yeah.
Nina says reality, expectations, and goals blur and mix together in the VTuber community, causing people to lose their true personalities and feelings.
Yeah.
I can certainly see that from watching some big VTubers, where a lot of them just slowly start to lose themselves in who they are. Like the one that comes to mind recently is, coincidentally, one of the biggest VTubers of all time, Gargura. Like, she just has not been seen a lot. And, you know, whether it's she's on a medical leave or she's just on a hiatus, you know, or vacation, because, you know, she works hard on that, you know, it's there's such a great growth that you see from her when she started to where she is now, but at the same time, you also see that there's kind of a little bit of a difference in where she is now, say, from a couple of months ago. So,
Yeah.
because there's just so much expectation put on you when you're in positions like that. Bombastic saying, "I would feel owned." Yeah, I mean, do you think that as an indie VTuber, do you think you could potentially feel owned, even if you're not a corporate VTuber?
Yeah, I feel like some indie VTubers, the ones that have a good following, sometimes feel like they're owned by their viewers because, you know, you have viewers wanting and expecting certain things of them, and if they're not given that, sometimes, you know, they lash out at the VTuber, and the VTuber feels like they have to do that thing that the viewers want to do. Um, but also, I understand what you're saying, like with corporate YouTubers as well, about how, you know, a lot of the content and stuff that they make, basically, they don't really own the rights to, which is why a lot of people sometimes graduate, because they feel like I'm making all these songs, I'm putting out all this content, but I am no longer the owner of any of that content that I put out, or any of the music that I produce or put out. So I feel like as indie VTubers and as corporate VTubers, there is a way that you can feel like owned in both ways. It's just kind of different. Whereas for corporate VTubers, there's a contract, but with indie VTubers, there's fan expectation.
Ooh, fan expectations. You know, because we talked about personal expectations, we talked about corporate expectations, but I feel like something that is not talked about a lot is fan expectations. Because heck, you take a look at me now. Because when I first started, nobody knew who I was. You know, I didn't have any following. I was just a nobody. I'm still a nobody. Let me say that. And I say I'm a nobody because, well, we're all nobodies in the grand scheme of life. But actually, I'm not gonna say I'm not a nobody. I have friends. I have family. We all have friends. We all have families. I don't think anybody should say they're a nobody. Let me dial that back. I'm not a big content creator. That should be what I will say. So I'm not a big content creator with a gigantic, you know, thousands of people. But even if it's just one person who likes you, you suddenly have that expectation. Your fans have the expectations of you. Like, for instance, with me and my community, they see me, and they expect me to be. You've got your Nix Val. Ah, thanks, Robe. But my community, they have that expectation of me to be good, to be true to my true self, but also, you know, to be my genuine self. I expect soda cans here, which is how it should be. You know, Bombastic. That's why I love you, is because you always. It was the hydrate that got me. It was like the insult to injury. But anyway, so yeah, it's like, you know, do you think at a certain point, perhaps, that those expectations to your fans, because actually, yeah, no, talking about with Nina's comment, it says the feelings of parasocialism and such causes people to either try and distance themselves or decide to use it for themselves. Like, man, I thank goodness that's one of the reasons why I like being the size I am, where I feel like I don't have to worry about that feeling of parasocialism. Because you know what parasocialism is?
Yes, I know what parasocialism is.
Okay, cool. So for anybody that doesn't know what parasocialism is the belief that you feel a connection with somebody who doesn't even acknowledge your existence or know of your existence. So it is a one-way feeling. I don't know, I feel a little para right now. Oh, please, bombastic, no. Wait, no, I acknowledge your existence. That parasocial relationship can't exist currently. Yeah, you make a good point, Robe. Doing the talk show helps form connections in the community. But like, it's one of those moments, and I talk about like every time I stream, but it's something I'll always continue bringing up is Markiplier in his 12 million subscriber special, where he breaks down and cries because he remembers that he can't talk and he can't be with, you know, just know everybody there. Because the thing is, what makes a parasocial relationship occur is the person who shows all this, who receives all this attention, is the thing is, I acknowledge all of you. I see you, I acknowledge your existence, I know you. But if I were to say have 1 million followers, well, suddenly I don't know everybody who comes in my stream. You know, I don't know that, and that's when the parasocial relationships start. Markiplier's a national treasure, like Nicolas Cage. So yeah, hard to miss beaming you with cans. If I ever get bigger, that's my big fear, is that the stream is just gonna be nothing but people throwing cans at me.
Oh no.
So yeah, putting an end cap on parasocial relationships in that, I feel that there's so many expectations on all three sides: the streamer, the employer, which is in this case like Twitch or something, or if you're corporate, you know, somebody like Niji Sanji or Hollow or whatever, and the expectations of the fans. So, you know, thank you for bringing on all this insight. That's when you add a cooldown to the cans, that's true. But if I added a cooldown, I'd be depriving myself of necessary nutrients.
Oh no.
So yeah, but thank you for offering that.
Double-edged sword.
Go! But yeah. Oh yeah, so Nina, I need to carve pumpkins now. I'll be back soon. Aw, thanks, Nina. You go have fun with your carving your pumpkins. So.
Hi, Nina.
So yeah, let's jump back up for just a moment, because Oth asked, where does our wonderful guest stream? So where can we find you? Where do you stream? Because we're actually going to be hitting our 2-hour mark, which means the... Oh my goodness, I dropped my ballad song.
Oh,
no, it's fine. It's like I said, it's a trainer knife, so there's no edge on it. I didn't want to get a real knife. I just wanted to, you know, get one I could flick around.
okay.
So yeah, but where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitch and also on YouTube. Like I said, I do not have a whole lot of content on YouTube currently, but I do have stuff in the works that I'm planning on uploading soon. Just gotta get a lot of video editing. That's fun and all. But yes, you can find me on YouTube. It should be just Double D. I think it's lowercase. Hold on, let me double check. I think it's lowercase. What if I'm not mistaken? It sucks. I don't even know my own Twitch here.
Yeah, you take your time on that. I'll say, I don't know. I think I've talked about it before. Chat, do you guys know why my Twitch tag is it's Valentine? No? Transform and roll out. So the reason why my channel is called, it's like my tag is called It's Valentine, is because one, the just strictly Valentine is taken, which I would have wanted to have. But at the time when I created it, Morbius was a very big thing. So I may or may not have created that with the It's Morbin time in mind. and I thought
Oh my goodness.
it'd be funny to make it be called It's Valentine.
Oh my lord. Okay. I found it. I found it. No, it is double D. Just 2 capital D's.
Do you want to type that in the chat?
Yeah.
Like put that URL in the chat?
That's the thing. I don't see the option for me to type in chat. Hold up. Let me.
Ooh.
Wait 2 seconds. I'm gonna click.
Oh yeah, you
here.
take your time.
Okay.
So fun fact,
Okay,
guys,
and then-
I have unlimited channel points. So you know what I can do for myself? You no longer
Yeah.
have the power.
Yeah, I don't get the option to type in your chat, sadly.
What?
Yeah, it's not showing up. I clicked on the video again, but I see hydrate pop up.
Huh. That's really weird.
Do you have follow on?
Have what?
Am I not? Am I not following? I am following you, aren't I?
Mm.
Hold up. Let me double check.
See, guys, this is
Oh, there's.
the wonderful part of streaming where scuff. That's how I would describe my stream. Is scuff. So that's really weird.
Okay, let me do this. Let me see if it
Worst
shows
case,
up that way.
I can find you. Where is it?
Yeah, you might have to.
That's okay.
Use that.
Where's the banjo? I wish I had Phantom's banjo.
What's that sad? The little sad mini violin that should be playing in the background currently.
My goodness, I'm trying to find. Can you
oh,
can you type or copy it and send it to me in Discord right now, and then I'll post it.
yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to the Scuff stream. The Fanjo.
Oh wait,
Oh,
I did it! I found it! Okay.
what happened?
I'm able to type. I had, for some reason, on the original Twitch link, I guess from your Twitter, it wouldn't let me, only let me see the video. It didn't let me comment anything. So
Oh.
I went through my Twitch and see. And
Oh.
can you see that pop up?
There it is. Let's go.
Yay!
So yeah, that's that right there is where our wonderful guest streams on Twitch, and they're going to be trying to post a little bit on YouTube. So if you can, I encourage you to support. Ah! I expect that from my chat, but not from my own guest.
I had to join in.
Fair enough. Well, guys, this has been so much fun. We're hitting that 2-hour mark. So thank you so much for this, D. You know, we've had some really good insights, really good conversations. I think the best ones yet. Like, it's been so much fun. So guys, if you can, follow and give D some support. You know, D makes good content. I've been, you know, because I make sure I spend the week of my guests, I watch their content, I watch their VODs. So they make good content, and, you know, support them.
Thank you. Please, if you want to, please support the Lamp Destroyer 2000. Thank you. Okay.
So, but not only that, come in the Discord, join the Discord. You know, talk, have fun. There's so much to do there. You know, we'd love to have you. We'd love to see you. So as for you, D, I really appreciate you being here. So we'd love to have you back on the show in the future and see where you are and see what all you accomplished. Sounds good?
Sure, sounds amazing.
Well, I will hold you to that. Sound good?
Alrighty. Shall I say my goodbyes?
Yeah, that would be great. Anything else you want to say before you leave?
Not that I can think of. Wait, hold up.
Oh.
It has been an honor to be a part of the show. Thank you so much for letting a humble bunny moth come join you today. Chat, you have been amazing. And farewell. Okay.
Okay. Well, I will shift to